Hi everyone, and welcome back to Kimbo's Comfort Kitchen. And today we are going to do fast pasta express, as I call it. I know a lot of my recipes are the ones that you get married to for the afternoon, and it's like, you know, during COVID it's great. I mean, you spend the entire day in the kitchen working on very complex and detailed recipes. This isn't one of them. This recipe is basically a blueprint. You can change this around, add different ingredients, all the rest of it. But the key is the stuffed pasta, which I get from Chaffee's. It's frozen. You buy it in a bag, but it's just like, you know, you're getting homemade pasta. I mean, obviously, if you make it at home from scratch and roll it out and stuff and everything else, it's going to be a little bit different. But I got to tell you, this is as close as it gets without actually making it yourself. No, I'm not getting remunerated for it. Don't get any discounts, whatever. I just simply love Chaffee's. Their staff are amazing, their products are outstanding, and they have a whole section on stuffed pastas. You can get ravioli stuff with this, you can get Tondi stuff with that. Everything is in there that you can imagine. So when you want to make, whether it's for one person or 8 people, you take out this stuffed pasta and put together the ingredients I'm going to show you today, which you can mix and match. It's basically a blueprint. And I'm going to show you the order of the mise en place, which is actually the most important part. It's all about the organization beforehand, and you can get this done in under 30 minutes. So, as I say, you could put in other ingredients. You can make it vegetarian. This one isn't because I've got sausage in it. But if you want to leave the sausage out, then it's going to be a vegetarian dish. So, super quick, super easy, unbelievably flavorful, and very, very healthy for you. So, let's get in the kitchen. Wait a minute. And get going. Thanks. All right, so to start with, on this portion here, we're doing mild Italian sausages, which I'm going to saute. Well, that's not saute. I'm going to boil them. Is what I'm going to do for about 3 minutes. I just like to start them off this way, and then once this is done, I'm going to set them aside, and we'll go from there. So here's another component, which is basil, which I'm going to turn into a chiffonade. And as you can see, or not, I'm just laying leaves inside each other. I'm going to put those over here for now. Am I in the center? There, that's the center. And I'm going to roll the leaves up inside each other. And take that and cut them into ribbons, which is a chiffonade. And this is one way to do it. Now the second way is you can do it with your sharp, but you have to have a very sharp knife to do this, is to go like this. But personally, I prefer this. This is a lot easier. So I'm going to do all these leaves up into this chiffonade. And then we're going to use that as a dressing on top. Okay, another step. I've taken some avocado oil and some butter. I always like to have a little butter in there, like that fat. You can do it without, but it's not the same. And I have chopped up some leftover mushrooms in my fridge, which are both criminy and white. And I'm going to saute these. So the idea is you let them go for a little bit, and then the water will come out of them. Don't do anything else right now, just let the water come out. Stir it once in a while. Be right back. Okay, so while I've got the mushroom sauteing, I have put the water to boil, add a lot of salt. Don't worry about how much salt you add. Actually, this is for the pasta. There we go. And I'm going to put this on medium right now so I can bring it to a boil whenever I want later. All right, be back. Alrighty then. So we let these saute for a few minutes. You can see what they look like. It's just starting to get a little braising going on. The Maillard effect. And I'm putting some marsala. You don't have to do this. I'm just doing this as an add-on. But I like to do that. And then I'm going to add, I don't add any salt with the marsala because it's fairly salty to begin with. And a little bit of pepper. And I'm going to take a bowl with a napkin in it, and I'm going to set this aside. Okay, so we're moving pretty quick. I've prepped my tomatoes. I've cut them all in half. Again, I've got a couple different kinds of cherry tomatoes in here, which I had as leftovers in the fridge. And that's perfect because this is a beautiful way to get rid of them. Next, I'm going to take the sausages that I had boiled earlier, and I am going to, can you see that? Yeah. I'm going to slice these, and I'm going to fry them up in the pan to get a nice little bit of browning, which you'll see later. But then you get the idea. You can see that it's still raw in the center, but the outside is done. And this will help and make it go a long way. So I'm going to do all of that, and I'll show you that afterwards. All right, so here you go. And I have pan fried these, and I'm now going to put them aside. I'm going to put them in a bowl with a paper towel, so the fat goes to the bottom, and the avocado oil, and then I can just set that aside when we're ready to go. All right, so now we've done all the basic mise en place. I've got Italian seasoning. I've got chopped garlic, or diced garlic, chiffonata basil, Reggiano Parmigiano, salt, pepper, shrooms that have been cooked off, as you saw before, and I've got the sausages, and cherry tomatoes, 2 different kinds, which were leftovers in the fridge. And I have the water boiling for the pasta. So the next step is just to put it all together. Now this all took about 15 minutes because it's what I do. If you wanted to make this a vegetarian dish, all you have to do is take out the sausages, and it'd be awesome as well, because there's lots of flavor that's going on here to begin with. So hold on to your hats. All right, so sorry, this is going to be a bit jerky because I'm a one-man show. One camera, one me. But water's boiling, and I'm taking the Tondi, which is for my mom. I'm doing this just for her right now, and I'm going to do for my wife and I later. And they're going to sink to the bottom. And the idea is, as soon as they've been in for a minute, scrape them, make sure they don't stick to the bottom. And then they're going to float to the top. As soon as they float to the top, you know they're done. It's not really rocket science, or as I call it, rocket surgery. And then I've already preheated the element on my little easy bake oven, and I'm going to let that warm up for a minute. And as soon as that's warmed up, I'll be right back. All right, so now this is where it becomes critical. Given that I'm only doing one portion, I'm only going to throw in that many tomatoes. You can see how much I got left for my wife and I. Actually, maybe a little bit more. But they're going to take the longest. The order is very important here. You want the tomatoes, and I kept some of the reserve of the fat from the sausages, but it's not going to take very long. You don't want to get too far, but it's going to start breaking this down, and the pectin is going to get released, which is creating some of the thickness. And then I'm going to throw some sausages in just to make it look good. And I'm going to throw in some mushrooms. I mean, you see how easy this is? I mean, really. Once you've done the cutting and the chopping, the mise en place is done. This is so bloody simple. And it smells amazing right now, I have to tell you. Now, I've got some garlic, and I've put my Italian seasoning. I'm going to put a little bit more Italian seasoning in. But I'm going to wait with the garlic because I don't want to burn the garlic. And I'm actually only going to put the garlic in. I've got this on 3/4 heat, by the way. And I'm only going to put the garlic in once I turn this down to 1/4 heat. The tomatoes are breaking down nicely. Like I said, it's just so amazing how fast, how quick this can be. And the flavors that come out of this are amazing. And the Tondi The pasta that I threw in is stuffed with mushrooms and herbs. Might seem like it's redundant with the chopped mushrooms, but trust me, it's not. It adds another depth with the marsala. All good. And I'm not going to add any salt. Now you can always sprinkle salt on top afterwards, but I'm not a big believer of over-salting your food. Now for seniors, you might want to, because as we get older, our taste buds don't conduct electricity as well as they used to, and salt is a conductor. And that's why a lot of seniors add salt to their food, because they can't taste it. But we're not there yet. I've turned the heat down almost to a quarter, and I've got the garlic in there now, so it's not going to burn it, he says with great confidence. My tondis are almost ready to rise to the top, and in the meantime, I'm going to take my mom's bowl, and I'm going to take some of the hot water from the pasta pot, and I'm going to let that heat the bowl up. Nobody likes a cold bowl, if you know what I mean. Alright, so we're pretty much done at this point. And I'm going to plate, and once this is all plated, we'll come back and I'll show you what it looks like. Alright, here we go for the pièce de la résistance. You can see that the tondi are floating. Don't mean to be jerk, but you know what I mean. And I'm going to take the tondi and pour them into a sieve to drain them. And I'm going to let them stand for 1 minute. And then I'm going to put the sauce in. Again, not really sauce, but the mixture. And as soon as that's done, I'm going to toss this. There's the hot water. And we're going to use the fresh basil on top. And because it's chopped in a chiffonade so fine, the flavor is going to explode on top of this. I'll take that one out. And the Parmesan Reggiano. And then I'm going to put some fresh cracked pepper on it when I serve it to my mom. And there you go. Super fast, super easy, and super fresh. I hope you enjoy. Thanks.